It's the moment you didn't know you're waiting for.
He is Carter.
He's Chad.
And this is the Irish 365 podcast.
Chad, this is Lou Holtz. That's head coach of Notre Dame for 11 years. Greatest experience of my life. They're starting a Notre Dame podcast this summer. I have a podcast as well, but it's not about Notre Dame football, although I wish there were. But congratulations on your success. And it would be nice if I could be on your podcast, but my schedule is so hectic. But anything that has to do with Notre Dame, I'm all for it. God bless you. Go Irish.
All right, well, welcome into episode 3. This will be part 1 of a 2-part series where we're going to cover the Notre Dame football season schedule. So ought to be interesting to walk the schedule and see how things go.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this one and get closer to the season. So I think doing this is just get me more excited. I mean, as we're recording this, we're under 2 weeks away. We're 12 days out. So from A&M right now. So obviously it's been recording it, but yeah, I mean this weekend we got week 0 college football. So I mean this time last year we were playing.
It's real.
It was game week, right? So
it's getting real.
Yeah, definitely excited for this one.
All right, so let's get into this. Let's talk about it. So let's start off with talking about Notre Dame itself. I guess I think you can't do a preseason preview without just talking about our team and what we think we've got. So offensively, what do you think our strengths are coming into the season?
Let's just get back into this real quick. We got 3 offensive starters returning from last year, right? So that means we've got 8 not returning, or 8 new starters.
8 new starters
on the offensive side of the ball, which doesn't mean we're lacking experience with a couple transfers at wide receiver, transfer obviously at quarterback. Officially the starting quarterback, if there's any question for that, week 1, Riley Leonard. Sorry, Maddie, about that. I know you're upset about it, but I think we all expected it. You may not have wanted it, but it's happening. Riley Leonard is officially the week 1 starter. And also a really interesting note, this offensive side of the ball, we got 1 captain on the offensive side of the ball. It's officially announced the other day, which is Riley Leonard. I think there's 5 total captains, and we'll get to those defensive ones next. But 1 offensive captain, which is kind of unusual. It seems like it's normally most years balanced somewhat.
But that's 3 returning starters on offense.
Yep.
He's your starting quarterback. So if he's not a captain, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, exactly. Your quarterback's often a captain. I mean, this is voted on by the players.
Yep.
So, anyways, getting to the offense. I mean, it's a lot of unknown. I mean, like we said, 3 returning starters. But a lot of talent, I think, too.
But a lot of playing times returning.
Yeah.
I mean, in the running back situation, Estime was your starter.
Yeah.
But I think Love.
Jeremiah Love's not
Price,
a bad. I don't feel bad about that.
I am excited about both of those guys.
They're gonna figure it out.
It will be fine. So I think running back's a strength for us. We know tight end is going to be another strength for us.
Yep. Mitchell Evans will be fine.
So not worried there. I think with everything I'm hearing on the receiver side, I'm feeling good about the receivers. I think we're going to have a huge upside. I think Den Brock made the comment the other day about the offense that he didn't know where the ceiling was because he doesn't know if they have one.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
Very interesting take there, too.
I don't know if that's coaches speak or if that's something to get excited about. Everybody's 0-0 right now, so everything's to be excited about. And the knock on Riley Leonard coming in was he was a run-first kind of guy, didn't throw the ball well. I'm hearing lots of things about his accuracy and his improvement. So So I think running back and tight ends are going to carry us. I feel good about the receiving group. I don't feel great. I feel good about it. I feel good about quarterback. We'll see what it does. And the only place I'm really a little concerned is our offensive line.
Yeah. I think that's where we're different. I mean, I've always had this Notre Dame's offensive line is going to figure it out. Now it's not a good situation going into a hostile environment week 1 by any means, but Notre Dame offensive line, I think we're both on agreement by mid-season they'll have it figured out. It's just how fast can they figure it out, right?
I think your offensive line is going to be solid by 3 or 4 weeks into the season. It's just we know game 1's A&M, and we know A&M's strength is going to be their defensive line.
Yep, definitely.
So I think that's where we stand on offense. I feel pretty good about it. I think we should be all right offensively. Seeing how the line does week 1 will be interesting.
Yeah. So just to get into this, we're talking about the offense. I know preseason All-Americans mean absolutely nothing, but it gives us something to talk about. So on that side of the ball, second team preseason All-American Mitchell Evans was this year, and then freshman All-American team, which if you think preseason All-American means absolutely nothing, I might go a little bit farther. The freshman All-American might mean just that much less. But we've got Knapp on the left tackle. Is projected to start this year for us. He made the freshman All-American team. So, interesting information for you to digest. Expectations are high. How about that?
He was really good in high school, so that says. So, yeah, I think that's offense. Defensively, I no question, defense is going to be a strength for us.
Yeah,
just in general, it's going to be a strength.
Definitely. So just getting on that side of the ball, Captain Riley Mills. We've got Captain Xavier Watts. We've got BMO, Benjamin Morrison, Jack Kaiser on that side of the ball. All captains are the 4 captains on that defensive side of the ball, and boy, do I like all 4 of them.
Yeah, I mean Kaiser's the one position if there's any concern, because I have no concern about defensive line, and I'm hearing good things about some of the younger guys that we could be playing eight guys deep on the defensive line. If you've paid attention at all the last few years, we know that defensive backs are a strength. And with BMO coming back, with Xavier Watts coming back, Christian Gray, Jaden Mickey, like we're just going to be set. And I think there's some good things coming from the young guys as well. Linebacker, we're going to have a little bit of a change of the guard in linebacker. We're going to go to the younger, less experienced, but more athletic linebacker this year. Kaiser's the old man of the group. So he
looks it too, right?
Yeah, he's going to bring the intelligence and the stability to the defensive play calling.
Yeah.
But the young guys. I mean, if there's any concern at all, it's just about the young guys missing assignments.
Yeah.
Not making plays, missing assignments.
I mean, I always go back to this. This is Marcus Freeman's position group from when he first started the defensive coordinator. I feel pretty confident that he's got a good relation with these guys. These guys are comfortable. I know he's still checking in on them. These are all guys he's recruited, worked with. Like, I guess he didn't recruit Kaiser, but I mean, he's worked with him for a couple years. It's definitely a young group. I'm with you, but I also just have that's one of the more groups there. It's like I don't mind being younger there because that's all guys Freeman's brought in with Sneed, Drake Bowen, and guys like that.
Yeah, KBA,
and obviously, Kingston. I'm gonna butcher your name, Philamu Oasa, but.
Yeah, something like that.
But also, so I don't have to say his name again. He was a freshman preseason All-American.
That's
just
right.
So I get that one out of the way right then and there.
But he's also a Buckus Award winner in high school.
Yep.
And we've had really good luck with Buckus Award winners in high school coming into being Buckus Award winners in college and finding their way to the NFL somehow.
Yeah, definitely. So also wrapping up on that defensive side of the ball, we've got Howard Cross and Xavier Watts that made first team preseason All-American, so big expectations there. And then Benjamin Morrison falling in that second team preseason All-American. So all I need is a little bit more motivation for him, and I think
that's disrespect to Benjamin Morris. Yeah.
I mean, there's talks if he's the first or second best in that position right now in college football, but I don't think he's second team worthy.
I think.
I think 2 or 3 corners make that like first team or whatever. So.
Yeah. But he's going to be drafted first or second corner in the league.
I mean, it depends how the draft works out next year, but with, 14 straight offensive players got drafted to start this past year. So that usually leans the next year that it's
everybody's got quarterbacks.
It leans towards a defensive draft the next year. So it makes you think you could see a draft like Sauce Gardner that goes top 5, top 10, and all that stuff.
But regardless of where, first, second, third round, he will be the first or second cornerback drafted.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying he could easily, I think he's a top 15 pick.
So if he's going to be the first or second cornerback drafted, how is he not first team All-American?
Yeah.
I don't pick him. And
we don't vote for him.
And hey,
if they want us to, let us know, right? Well, we're
available.
We can draw names out of a hat and pick some people like these guys seem to.
So, yeah, that's defense. I think we feel good about defense. I think we feel like defense is going to be strength of the team overall going into the season.
Yeah.
And defense wins championships, so let's go defense. And I think, again, that's Golden's third year. And I think they're just getting more comfortable with his scheme. And so we're running an NFL-style defense, and we play like an NFL-style defense. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So that brings us into phase 3, special teams.
Yeah, special teams. Obviously, new punter and new kicker as well, I believe, right?
New kicker, new punter, and same kickoff guy.
So, yeah, same kickoff. But punt, I mean, everything we've been hearing about punts out of camp has been 5-second hang times, 60 seconds when he's hitting them well, and then some
60-plus yard kicks.
Yeah, but then we've also heard every once in a while there's a good shank in there. But
yeah, consistency, right?
Yeah, that's the hardest part about kicking. But, I mean, I think it's a thing every time you're practicing. A guy comes over from Australia playing Aussie rule football rugby, just getting down the consistency. I think he'll get there, but
yeah, I think one of my favorite quotes I heard from him was, "He looks forward to getting to tackle somebody if he has to."
Yeah, I mean, we hope he doesn't.
I hope he's not. Yeah. But yeah,
if he needs to, don't worry, fans.
Yeah, was he 6'6"?
Big dude.
Yes, I think he's 6'6",
yeah,
like
jocked.
6'6", 240, 250. Yeah, he's
Jocked.
He's linebacker. He's big linebacker size, and
Hey,
he's a punter.
maybe if we get in there.
Yeah, I don't think so, but we'll see. So yeah, I think special teams are going to be strong this year for sure.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't use them a lot.
Yeah, it's hard to say bringing in a transfer kicker every year. In that sense, but
yeah,
you hope it's experience, but at the same time they haven't played at this level and seen these crowds sometimes before. So
it's definitely a change for Notre Dame because we used to draft a kicker every third year, and we were loyal to that kicker, and that's not been the MO. And now we're going to the transfer portal. We're going to get a guy with game time experience. We're going to find the best guy available. And, if we and now kickers are preferred walk-ons out of high school.
Yeah.
They have a chance to develop like every other school in the country, or they don't. So, so the only place you can go as a kicker out of high school with a full ride is one of the military academies.
Yeah.
so we're caught up to the rest of the world in the way they run their special team operations, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But hey, we love kickers here, so
we'll definitely be breaking them down as the season goes on. So don't worry about it. If you feel like we just didn't give enough attention, we got to see some film first, and we'll break it down and explain some stuff to you.
Yeah, we like most people love special teams.
Yep.
Love special teams.
Okay, maybe a little more than most people.
Okay,
right?
A little bit more than most people.
All right, but let's get into it. So the Irish over under for this year, 10.5 wins. So that's giving the Irish, if you want that over bet, only losing one game, plus 142 is what I've seen on most betting sites. So $10 bet wins you $14 and plus your $10 back, so about $24. Pretty good odds for that if you think Notre Dame's only going to lose one game. That's, if you look at the schedule, pretty realistic, I think, for that over bet. Plus 1,800 to win the national championship when I was last checking. That's the sixth best odds. That's been jumping around, though. Depends where you get your gambling at. Anywhere between that 18 and 2,400 mark, just it's fluctuating like preseason does as money comes in and whatnot. But like I said, sixth best odds to make the national championship. And then Notre Dame to make the college football playoff is minus 160. So $10 would win you $6.25, or that plus your $10 back, so $16.25. Really good odds for the Irish to make the CFP. So obviously Vegas is thinking we're going to make it this year. Obviously with those minus odds, favor the Irish quite well.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, we'll get into it as we go through the schedule, but I think the schedule sets up pretty nice for the Irish to have that run. So
yeah, definitely.
Vegas is recognizing it, and Vegas isn't wrong much. So
yeah, they win more than they lose.
That's right. There's a reason they got nice hotels in Vegas.
No kidding.
So, yeah, so that'll be interesting. It'll be good to see. It'll be good to see us make that run, and we're overdue for college football.
Yeah, especially with this new format this year. If you have questions about that, go back to episode 2.
Yeah, that's right. We covered all. All right, so let's talk about it. Week 1.
Yeah, so we're not going to get in Texas A&M too much just because we're going to do a pregame preview next week, break down more into that A&M game, but we'll get into a little bit. A&M opens up, last I was seeing, -1 versus the Irish, so basically a pick 'em. But A&M 1-point favorites. Last year they finished 7-6. Obviously new head coach, new everything over there. They've got a whole new program. A lot of great recruiting classes, though, me and you've been talking about, but it just transfers in, transfer out. It's going to be a new program.
Yeah. I think they had 20 guys transfer out, 20-some guys transfer in this year.
Just like a ridiculous number there. So over under, we're not going to get, like I said, not going to get too much, but over and under for A&M this year, 8.5 wins. And I'm going to read through the schedule, and we're going to make our picks on that one.
Yeah, so this game's at A&M Saturday night. Opening up the season week 1.
Yep.
102,000, home of the 12th man. It's going to be an environment.
Yeah.
We're excited. We're flying down to Austin, driving up to College Station.
Yeah.
It's going to be an adventure for the family. That's what you're here for. You're going to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be we're looking at those projected temperatures, 95, 97, like that day of game. It's 6:30 local, so you're right past that heat of the day kind. It's going to be cooling down theoretically for us, but yeah, we'll see if the game time temperature kind of cools off for us, or if it stays about there.
Yeah.
Got any other comments on this one?
Just expect, talking to my A&M friends, just expect a drunken, rowdy crowd because they've got all day to prep for this one.
Yeah. No, it's all off season to prep for this one.
They will be pre-gaming starting at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So we got obviously Notre Dame to open up the season for A&M. Home versus McKinney State, on the road at Florida. Home versus Bowling Green.
You want to go? Let's go through wins and losses here. Let's talk about it because they're going to come into Notre Dame.
Well, they lose.
They're going to lose, right? Yep. I mean, we'll get into that, but I think it's a close game. I think their strengths are defensive line. I think what I'm hearing, the struggle is going to be potentially in the offensive line and potentially in their quarterback receiver area.
Yep.
There's some people think the quarterback's going to be great. Some people saying he's going to struggle with accuracy. So
Yeah.
I think everything tilts Notre Dame's going to win that game. So we're coming out of there 1-0. They're going out of there 0-1. What do they do after that then?
McKinney State.
Win.
Florida.
Win.
Bowling Green.
Win.
Home versus Arkansas.
Win.
Home versus Missouri.
See, everyone's
high on Missouri this year.
Yeah, I don't know enough about them, but I know people are high on them, so we're going to call that a loss.
Yeah. On the road at Mississippi State.
Tommy Reese at Mizzou? I'm
No,
sorry,
he's
Drew Pine. Did Drew Pine end up going to Mizzou? Is that where he ended up going to now?
Is that might be right?
I think he is,
but probably I don't think it's starter.
I don't know if he's starting, but hey,
I don't think he's a starter.
Never underestimate a Drew Pine team.
Yeah, no kidding. If he gets hot, he's hot. When he's cold, right?
Exactly.
All right, so then on the road at Mississippi State, I'd say that's probably a win.
Should beat Mississippi State.
Home versus LSU.
See, Elko knows Kelly's well.
Yeah.
LSU could go two different ways. LSU could be hot and on a run.
Yep.
LSU could be collapsed by then. We're going to go loss.
Yep. And then, so what we got? 2 losses. How many wins we got over there?
We got 5 wins.
5 wins. Then we're home or on the road, South Carolina. I think that's a win.
I think that's a win. And South Carolina's going to be good, but I think that's a win.
New Mexico State at home.
Definitely a win.
Auburn on the road.
Auburn, they shouldn't be that good.
Yeah. So they get a few wins and some momentum going. Some people have them as an underdog, make the college ball playoff.
I'm going to say Elko's rolling by week 10, though.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say
I think this is 11th game. And then home versus Texas A&M, home versus Texas Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah. And that's
going to be rowdy. I think that's going to be a loss, too.
So, but I mean, yeah, I think the stat I saw on that was the Dallas Cowboys play the same weekend, and the ticket prices are twice as much for the A&M
Thanksgiving weekend Cowboy game.
Cowboy game.
Cowboy Thanksgiving game. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that puts them at 8 wins.
Yeah, and that line's 8.5.
Oh, take the under.
You're taking the under.
I'm taking the under.
I'm going the over on that one.
All right.
I think they're going to get one from that LSU, Texas, and Florida. I believe is the ones we picked to lose. I think they'll get one of them.
They might. If I were betting. And I would lose if I was betting.
That's why I'm going against you.
Always bet against me. Whatever I say, do the opposite.
Yeah.
I would say 8 wins is probably their number.
Yeah. So it's kind of my line for them. All right. Week 2, the Irish return home opener. They've got Northern Illinois University. Last year finished 7-6. Beat Arkansas State in a bowl game for Coach Tom McCamock's first bowl win with NIU.
Yeah. Shut out Coach Hommick, 260, right?
Exactly, from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Cool,
right.
Dude. Obviously, it's a MAC school. It's a team that's had up and down years. I was looking, they had, I think 2 or 3 years ago, had 9 or 10 win year, and then didn't win a bowl game. And then last year, obviously, basically went 6-6 and then won their bowl game. It's kind of a program that's been up and down, not had any constant success. So.
Yeah.
Tough program to know what to expect necessarily, especially it'll be easier for us going into that game and having something, watching them a little bit, seeing what they did offensively, defensively, and have a little bit more information than going into a team. There's not much out there on them right now.
It's hard to say what they've got going on.
Yeah.
So what's their schedule like coming into Notre Dame?
All right, so they're over under this year, 6.5 wins. Obviously, we play them week 2, so got a good old-fashioned rivalry game, week 1. Western Illinois versus Northern Illinois.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm sure you guys will be tuning into that. Saturday, August 31st at 3:30 for getting ready for that Notre Dame night game.
That should be later in the season. That should be Tuesday night action.
I mean, you think so?
I
think you just got to sell some tickets right off the bat. Northern Illinois is at home for that one.
All right, we'll give them the win.
Yeah, I mean, rivalry game.
Opening up at home, rivalry game. It's got to be the win.
Yeah, so then obviously come to South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame, Indiana, week 2 versus the Irish.
I like the Irish in that one.
Yeah, whatever the spread is, I'd take the Irish. Then they're at home against Buffalo.
Yeah. See, Buffalo's a little bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them the win versus Buffalo.
Then they go on the road at NC State. I think we'll both agree is a loss on that one.
Yeah.
At home versus UMass.
They're gonna take the L on UMass, I think.
And then on the road at Bowling Green.
We're back into the MAC, and Bowling Green.
Bowling Green's been pretty solid here of recent. And then I think we're both on the loss on that one. At home versus Toledo, I'm definitely leaning loss on that one. Toledo's been a pretty solid program here of late.
Yeah, Toledo's doing really well.
Know some people that's going over there, and so I'll give them the edge on that one as well.
Right.
Got on the road again against Ball State. Chirp, chirp, huh?
Chirp, chirp. Yeah, I'm going to go Cardinals.
Yeah, then they're on the road versus Western Michigan, who've also been a up and down program, but solid MAC school.
I think they're down this year, so I'm going to give them a third win there.
You're going to give them a win there.
I'm
and
then
give them the win they're at home versus Akron, and I'll never pick Akron football for anything. So
yeah, I don't think Akron's known for their football program. So there's 4 wins.
Yep, on the road, Miami of Ohio. I'll definitely be leaning Miami of Ohio on that one.
Yep.
And then end the year at home versus Central Michigan.
The Chippewas have been good of recent, but I think they're off this year. I think NIU gets its 5th win there.
I think they get 5 wins, and that line again is 6.5. But yeah, I think we're both leaning the under for NIU this year.
I'm under.
And I mean, we're both hopeful that they're going to be over. Let's not get that wrong. We hope they get some wins along the way, make us look a little bit better.
Hey, yeah, I have a rule. I want every team we play to go undefeated when they're not playing us. I want them to all have 1 loss versus us, unless they're playing each other. Then I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for them to have a much better season, but I think realistically, my guess would be 5 wins. So
yeah,
I'd go the under with you.
So let's just get into ticket prices for this game. UND.com, last I was checking, $65 get-in price. Not a bad get-in price for Notre Dame.
Tickets still available, I believe, as of today.
Tickets still available. You can get lower end zone for around $80 with a $6 fee. And then if you're one of those persons that not necessarily trying to plan or buy big group tickets, you can always look on SeatGeek. Right now, we're on that $75 get-in price. But if you're patient and want to wait till close to game time, I think those will probably drop more in that $40 to $50 range, if I was strictly guessing.
Yeah, there's a good chance season ticket holders aren't interested in coming to NIU. You might find some season ticket holder giving up a seat for less than face value.
Always depends on weather. That first game usually seems to be kind of hot. Doesn't bother us, obviously, but there's some people that will complain it's too hot. So.
Yeah.
All right, so that kind of wraps up week 2. We'll get into week 3. The Irish travel to West Lafayette to play Purdue at a 3:30 kick.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it's not a night game.
Yeah, I think Purdue in a night game is more dangerous than Purdue in an afternoon game.
Yeah, and I like playing them week 3, not like week 8, 9, or 10 when they figured a little bit out. But Irish, or the Purdue Boilermakers, finished last year 4-8. They somehow come off a bye week 3, before playing us. But, yeah, the Irish have won 8 straight and 9 of the last 10 against the Boilermakers, 59-26-2 all time. They've got 5 returning starters on both sides of the ball. Not a Purdue team that was very good last year, like we said, finishing 4-8.
Yeah, there's 61,000 fans, and I bet you that there's a good percentage of Notre Dame fans in that stadium. Ross 8 will have a contingent of green.
Yeah, I don't know. Purdue, I don't think Purdue football has much hope. Maybe they haven't lost hope by that point. They'll be coming in 1-0 as we get into the schedule here. But, yeah, I don't see Purdue. I know a few Purdue fans aren't feeling like this team's going to make a run at the Big Ten this year, by any means, especially with this new Big Ten.
Purdue fans I know are a little concerned about the season and the new Big Ten being a little tougher. So let's go through the Purdue schedule.
All right, so we got their over-under. Remember this line, 4.5.
4.5. All right. Let's see if we get them to 5.
Here we go. All right, ready? We've got Indiana State to open up the year at home for Purdue.
I like the Sycamores.
Yeah.
But only in the 70s basketball region when Larry Bird was still playing. So
all right,
we're going to go win there, though.
And then don't forget, they got to bye because they need it week 2 after Indiana State. It was a tough one. They're probably battling.
All right, yeah.
Then Purdue hosts Notre Dame.
Yeah, this is a game that shouldn't be close.
Yeah.
So this is a game where we should get.
Should be a nice road trip for
us. Good experience, yeah. Nice short road trip.
Nice short road trip.
Downstate.
Yep. Back home, good time.
So, yeah, nope, loss there for Purdue.
All right, then Purdue travels across the country to Oregon State.
I'm going to go loss.
Me too. Nebraska at home.
Loss.
Purdue versus on the road in Madison, Wisconsin.
Loss.
On the road, Illinois.
Loss.
And they host a night game versus preseason number 3 Oregon. You gonna go for it?
No.
Okay.
I'm feeling bad for Purdue right now.
Yeah.
I got them at 1 win.
Hey, here you go.
I might flip that. I might flip either Illinois or Nebraska. I don't
All
know.
right. Well, here you go. Purdue at home versus Northwestern.
I like them there.
There we go. Okay. Now back to it. On the road at Ohio State.
I need some Boiler magic, but I don't think we're going to get it.
At home versus Penn State.
Not feeling good about that one.
On the road versus Michigan State.
By that time of the season, Purdue might have some things figured out.
I don't know though. They just had Ohio State and Penn State back-to-back weeks. So here's the 3 or 4 week stretch, right? Okay,
I'm going to give them Michigan State. I think they get a win in there.
Right, but here's a 5 week stretch. They got Oregon, a bye, Northwestern, which would be a win, and then they go to Ohio State, home versus Penn State, and then Michigan State. I'm just saying, Michigan State's a team they should beat, no doubt about that. Like Michigan State's not been that great,
yeah.
But just the momentum and the point of the season, and then the following week they've got on the road versus Indiana. Do you think they're already just looking forward to that game?
No, I think they're going to be ready to win. I think they get Michigan State, and then the Oak and Bucket game.
Yeah.
Throw out the records. Anybody can beat anybody, but I'm gonna go Purdue in that one.
All right, so that line was 4.5. I think I'm taking the under on that one.
I think we're at 4.
I would say if you throw in one of those Nebraska or Illinois games, they could get to that 5 mark, but I won't be surprised if one of those games you pick them to win, they also lose. You know what I mean? Like, they're not a very good football team this year.
So, yeah, there we go. I
think we're both leaning under.
We're leaning under. Unfortunately, not going to be bowl eligible.
Yeah.
So, on to week 4 for Notre Dame.
All right, we are at home. Miami of Ohio comes to town, another MAC school. Finished last year, though, 11-3 with a bowl loss. They are back-to-back MAC champs. They beat Cincinnati last year and lost to Toledo in the regular season, but then came back and beat Toledo in that MAC championship game.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're over-under this year, 7.5 for Miami of Ohio.
And I think Miami of Ohio's really solid chance of being MAC champions 3 years in a row. I think they've got a good program going on right there right now.
So they've also an interesting note about Miami of Ohio. They have a 6th-year starting quarterback, Brett Gabbert. He has never transferred. He's been a Miami of Ohio starter for 6 years. So he's not just been a starter in college football for 6 years. Starter at Miami of Ohio for his 6th year, which is quite an impressive feat there in college football.
Yeah, he has the COVID years. So
yep.
Now, it's either loyalty to Miami of Ohio or he's not.
No better offers, right?
Because today's transfer portal era,
yeah,
and NIL, I mean, it seems like that's a guy that have a chance to produce something at a higher level. So yeah, but a lot of experience coming in for them. So why not go back to? I think the 3-peat's in their cards. So
yeah.
What's their schedule look like coming into Notre Dame?
I think a tougher schedule for a MAC school coming into it. So they're on the road at Northwestern at that new practice facility. So I don't think Northwestern's a great program, but it is a Big Ten school versus a MAC school. So I am leaning Miami, Ohio on that one, but Northwestern could surprise some people because I think they've been getting trashed and might be taking it personal. I don't know. I'm not a Northwestern fan.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
They're not the Northwestern that's been good. This is going to be I think this is one of those MAC wins over a Big Ten team.
Yeah. Northwestern felt good scheduling this one 6 or 7 years ago and probably not feeling so great about it now. But anyways, on to week 2. They are home versus Cincinnati, kind of an Ohio rivalry going. I mentioned, Miami, Ohio did beat Cincinnati last year. So I think this is a game, though, Cincinnati could want to get back. But like we said, Miami's.
But it's at Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go. I'm taking Miami over.
Do you think they're coming in 2-0 here?
I think they're coming to the Irish 2-0. Yeah.
Here's my take: Are they ranked then at that point? They beat Northwestern, Big Ten school, and Cincinnati, Big 12 school. As a MAC school,
they could be on the outside. They could be on the.
They could be in that 25-24 range, I think.
Yeah, they could be on the outside, on the edge of the 25. I think they could be. It depends on how things shake out with some of the other teams.
Right. I'm just saying theoretically. I think if
I think they can make top 25 by then.
Yeah, if they are, and then my bad. So they've got Northwestern by Cincinnati, then Notre Dame. I forgot that bye week in there before because I was like, wait, they've only got 2 games. But yeah, I think it's an interesting situation. I think it'd be great for Notre Dame if they come in undefeated, ranked 24 or 25 in that region. Just another ranked win in there for the Irish. I think it's a game Notre Dame obviously takes care of as they come into Notre Dame Stadium September 21st. And then after us, they've got home versus UMass. Don't know much about them, but I'm going to go win. And then they're on the road at Toledo. I think that's probably a toss-up game for them. Obviously splitting with them last year. Going on the road. Yeah, another Ohio matchup.
Toledo. I think they'll get Toledo. I think they're going to be 6-year leadership's going to show up.
Yeah. Okay. Miami, Ohio goes on the road to Eastern Michigan.
I think that's a win.
Then they're home versus Ohio. How many Ohio teams do they play?
All of them.
No.
That should be another win.
Yeah.
That's not the Ohio. That's just Ohio. That's the Bobcats.
Then they're home versus Central Michigan.
That should be a win.
On the road at Ball State.
That should be a win.
At home against, guess who? Another Ohio team, Kent State.
That should be a win.
And then they're home versus Northern Illinois.
Should be a win.
And on the road at Bowling Green.
That should be a win.
So let me get this straight. You have Miami, Ohio losing 1 game.
We could have them going 11-1. They could
7.5 are over under. You just getting on a FanDuel account and you taking that. If you're loving them 11-1.
You know I'm terrible at betting.
So I should probably take the under on that one.
But I think 9-10 wins is easy.
Yeah, I think 9's probably a pretty solid number for them. Toledo I think will be a tough one, and I'm Cincinnati, and then obviously the Irish. I think that over is a pretty good bet for them.
Yeah, and I mean I really expect those. I expect them to be MAC champion, and I think there's a strong chance that they could be.
Yeah, I mean
playoff contender on that outside the Power 5.
Yeah, if they play us tough and run the table or play, I think they got to be fighting for that 5th spot or that 5th conference champion spot.
Yeah.
And like you said, 6th year starting quarterback in college football, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a coach on the field at that point. I mean, he's another coach. So
yeah, I mean, they could end up being a 2-win team, and we have no idea what we're talking about. But I think coming into the season, I think Miami, Ohio looks like a good team on paper.
Hey, I root for Ball State in the MAC, but reality says Miami, Ohio is where you put your money on in football this year.
Yeah, especially back-to-back MAC champs. They got some experience. They know how to win games, and obviously winning this year just means a little bit more because they actually have a chance to do something if they.
Yeah, I think that carrot of college football playoff potential being out there, and I think they're a strong contender for that. So, and it's good for the Irish because I need strength of schedule to be high. We want to be ranked high. We want to get that home playoff.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what takes us Miami of Ohio?
All right, let me get ticket prices real quick. I believe I saw this game sold out. Notre Dame Stadium already.
Yes, just sold out. I think they
just sold out today. I think it was. So yeah, it's pretty exciting news for a MAC school coming into town. Not even the home opener, but sold out Notre Dame Stadium for Miami, Ohio coming in, which is only good because, like we said, we think this Miami, Ohio team's a decent team coming in. We don't need a half-empty Notre Dame Stadium, and then
I think that's a little bit of the MAC school will probably travel well. People want to come see Notre Dame and play at Notre Dame. I think it's a little bit of marketing, ticketing, prowess on Notre Dame's part because they wouldn't sell you a Florida State ticket unless you bundled it with either Miami of Ohio or NIU.
Yep.
And a lot of people said, well, Miami of Ohio would be a better game than the NIU game.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's sold out.
Still sold out. I think I was looking though, $65, $70 ish on SeatGeek getting price. So, not a bad price. Obviously, if this ends up being a ranked matchup closer to that game time, though,
prices could go up.
Could go up a little bit. I'm not going to say they're going to be $100 by any means, but yeah, Miami Ohio comes in 1-1. I think the game price might be that $50 range if I was guessing.
Loses some excitement. For
sure.
Exactly.
So,
and they could very well come in 1-1. We gave them the nod, but they could lose to Cincinnati.
Yep. So, all right, that gets us into Week 5. The Irish home versus the Louisville Cardinals. 3:30 kick, and don't be mad at us. We did not choose this. That game is on Peacock. It's not us.
Yeah.
So buy your ticket.
Buy a ticket or come up with a fake email address now so you can get your free trial that week.
Get your free 7-day trial. Just make sure you cancel it.
Whatever you do, just cancel it.
Yep. So
although you might want to keep it this year because.
Oh yeah. You want to get in this a little bit?
Yeah, we can get into it, but Notre Dame's going to have a Hard Knock style program on Peacock going through the season. I think there's a couple episodes prior to the kickoff at A&M.
And then I think it's after all the regular season games.
And then one toward the end of the regular season,
Yeah.
So it's called Here Come the Irish. The promos look great on
Lou
it.
Holtz in it, obviously shouts out, doesn't probably shout out the podcast in it. Yeah, we're working on it for the end of the season.
Yeah, well, I think when he was on the episode was probably before he really got into the podcast.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so, sorry, Lou, we're not going to have time to have you on tonight as a guest either. So
yeah.
Just apologize in advance.
Yep. Again, this game, I believe, got announced as the Irish Wear Green game and also a sellout.
Which I think is interesting that they made the Irish Wear Green here, because it would have seemed logical that the Irish Wear Green would have been Florida State.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that we lost to Louisville last year.
And I've also noticed this trend where they seem to be trying to push that Irish Wear Green game a little bit earlier in the season. I think they have more success than when we get into that coat time of year and stuff. I've seemed to notice it.
You can't sell special green T-shirts and then have people showing up with their coats on.
Yeah, and then it's not much of a green out. But I've seen some people saying that we are officially wearing green jerseys for this game. I have not seen that from the university anywhere. So when we've done this last year, obviously we wore the green jerseys, but not every year we've worn that Irish Wear Green game has been a green out for the team. So hold your horses on that one for now until official team announcement. I won't be surprised if we do.
I think we wore green jerseys every year of Marcus Freeman. I know we did year 2. I thought we did year 1. Maybe we did year 1. I just know.
I think last. Yeah.
I think Marcus Freeman wants us to wear green. We're going to wear green.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's not been an official announcement from the team. I wouldn't count it as a complete lock right now.
Yeah, well, would
be my opinion.
They dropped all the fresh gear for the Shamrock Series, so they're going to give a little bit of time to sell that out. They're going to follow up and get more money from us by some great green gear.
So last year, Louisville finished 10-4, ACC championship loss, 4th best odds this year to win the ACC. Obviously, like we talked about, beat the Irish last year in Louisville. Second-year coaching staff, 5 offensive returning starters, 8 defensive returning starters. They got Texas Tech grad quarterback Tyler Shaw. Louisville's over/under this year, 8.5 wins.
Yeah, Louisville's a solid program. I think they're doing good things. I think they're definitely a contender for ACC champion. Definitely a team that's sitting there right now saying we got a chance of making the college football playoff. They've got to be thinking that. So what do they look like coming in? What's their schedule look like coming in?
All right, so they've got home versus Austin Peay.
That's a win.
Home versus Jackson State.
That's a win.
Bye week, and then home versus Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech is an interesting program.
Yep. I think we're both kind of higher on Georgia Tech than we normally would be.
Yeah, I still think it's Louisville. I think Louisville.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Louisville wins this one. But, yeah, Georgia Tech, I think we'll get into, I believe, next podcast. But some interesting takes on that one.
Yeah.
Better team than we're normal have been of Reese. But, anyways, after Georgia Tech, they are on the road at Notre Dame. So their first road game of the season, but also should have 3 wins coming in.
Yeah, they should come in undefeated. They should come in ranked.
Yeah, I would assume they're ranked at this point.
Top 15.
Especially after going to ACC championship last year.
Top 15, maybe top 10.
Yeah, I don't know. Being unranked to start the year obviously depends how everyone else does, but I think for sure top 20.
Yeah, I
feel comfortable saying that top 20 team.
Yeah, I would agree with that because I'm thinking they could be top 15. But
yeah,
so yeah,
I'm with you. It depends how stuff falls in front of them. I could see them being top 15 for sure, but I think top 20 is a good bet.
Listen, they did a great job of running the ball against us last year. That if there was anything that was an Achilles heel for us, it was we didn't run the ball as well as we should have in those games.
Yeah.
Our quarterback didn't distribute the ball as well as you should have. I think that's play calling more than talent of anything else. I think it was just terrible. We didn't optimize play calling. I think Mike Denbrock is going to cure those ills.
Yeah. Especially by this time of season.
And I think our younger, more athletic linebackers are going to be good run stoppers. I think our defensive line is going to be better run stoppers this year. We know our corners can play on an island if need be. So I think we know what to expect. It's home cooking. It's a revenge game. We're wearing green. I think it means a lot more to us than Louisville realizes. This is a game we're going to want to win.
Yeah, obviously. I know it sucked for all Notre Dame, but this is a game I was at last year. Me and Maddie were down there at that one, and boy, did that one stink. Like, it hurt for everyone, I'm sure, but driving down there to Louisville, expecting a nice win. Sam Hartman playing well, finally beating Louisville.
And we've been
And
to
it was
Louisville
just
before,
like,
and Louisville, I mean, they're a good. It's a good football crowd. It's a really, for a road game, it's a great place to go. I like the Louisville fans. They're into the game. They cheer. They support their team. They're not crazy. I do like traveling to Louisville to go watch a game.
Nice, easy drive from Indiana. Like I mean, that's why we went last year, right? It was an easy drive. I'm like, oh, might as well go. It's not much further than South Bend. I mean,
yeah.
But
I think Irish got more motivation than people realize. I look for us to win that.
Yeah,
one.
definitely. Like that's a game that's been bitter in the mouth for the Irish. But anyway, so home, obviously they're on the road versus Louisville, on the road at Notre Dame, and then they're home versus SMU.
See, SMU I find interesting, but I think Louisville
should win that one.
Gonna
right?
win that one.
Home or on the road at Virginia.
I like Louisville there.
Home versus Miami of Florida, who's come in preseason ranked 19th.
Miami, Florida should win that game.
That's going to come down to the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coin flip at the end.
Miami of Florida always has athletes. The question is, where's their mental state at? I feel like they underperform sometimes, and that's just. I'm going to give Miami the win on that one.
All right. On the road, Boston College. I think we'll both go win for that one.
Definitely.
Then we've got on the road, Death Valley, Clemson.
Clemson was underperforming last year, and everybody's expecting Clemson.
14th preseason rank for Clemson.
Everybody's expecting Clemson to bounce back. I'm going to go Clemson.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Ooh, here you go. New ACC matchup. Louisville Cardinals versus the Stanford Cardinals.
Ooh, we got the Cardinals versus the Cardinals.
But it's a cardinal versus a tree, really. So,
I thought it was a color. But they do have the tree logo.
That's how I was joking. The Cardinal versus the Cardinal, two different Cardinals.
Yeah, so I obviously am going to take the Cardinals with the S in this one. I'm going to go Louisville.
You're down. Team down south, Louisville.
Yep.
All right. Well, then they've got home. With that, you have to travel out to Stanford, so that is a far journey for them, especially for a conference matchup, something different. But then they're home against Pitt.
I like them versus Pitt.
And then on the road, big rivalry game versus University of Kentucky.
See, Kentucky is a basketball school, but they've been
had
football
moments.
late.
They've had some flashes.
They've been decent football late.
I'll still lean Louisville on that one, but
it's in-state rivalry. It's a big game for them. But
assuming Louisville's having the season we think, if they're a 6-6 team or mid-table team, then Kentucky could pull that one out. But yeah, what we think of Louisville preseason, I'm definitely taking Louisville on that one.
Yep, I'm with you. Right now, I feel like Louisville's got that one.
All right, that takes us into tickets, and like we said, sold out on UND.com. SeatGeek's looking around $175 with fees. Second most expensive game this year at Notre Dame Stadium, but definitely should be a good game. Green out, definitely one I'm excited for.
And that's a Louisville team that's going to win 9 games, could go over. And what's the over and under for them?
Yeah, 8.5.
8.5.
So I think it's a really good line.
I take the over.
Yep, I'm with you on that one.
All right, so that's Louisville.
Yep. That gets us into maybe one of the toughest opponents of the year, the bye week.
The bye week. I like Irish versus the bye.
All right.
I think we're going to do it against the bye.
We're going to do it. BYE.
No concerns there.
No concern. Wow.
Yeah. A little bit of home cooking, a little bit of rest.
Yep.
Coming out of the bye week.
Gets us ready for an ACC opponent, the Stanford Cardinals.
Which is so weird to say.
But
yeah.
So I'm saying it to try to get used to it for my own brain. So when I see it, it doesn't confuse me as much later on. Game. Stanford is obviously new to the ACC and projected to finish last place in the ACC.
Yeah. Hey, if we were talking the Academic Bowl, I would take Stanford over the ACC. And there's some good ACC schools. Maybe Duke could compete with them.
Yeah.
But this is not. This is football, and
their second-year coaching staff finished the last year 3-9. But some positive for the Stanford Cardinals: they have 9 offensive returning starters and 7 defensive. We're saying that as a positive, but they also won 3 football games last year, so maybe it's not a positive.
That could bump them up.
But they did have a ton of freshman and sophomore starters last season. They had one of the worst defenses in that Pac-12, but you also have to remember how loaded that Pac-12 offensive, and let alone quarterbacks, was last season.
So I think that's something
to take into account. They're not going to be playing the Caleb Williams of the world, the Bo Nix of the world. They're playing in this ACC now. But then again, they're over under this year is a whopping 3.5.
3.5. Ooh.
High expectations there.
Let's see if we can get them to 4.
Let's see if we can do it. We might be begging for that 4th one. They start at home versus TCU.
Loss.
At home versus Cal Poly.
I think they could beat Cal Poly. I think they got to win there.
I think so too. They travel all the way across the country for that first ACC matchup versus the Syracuse Orange.
Loss.
They travel all the way across the country for that ACC matchup versus the Clemson Tigers.
They're back-to-back 2 weeks. Oh, man. Clemson's going to beat them bad. That's tough to schedule.
Yeah, that's not easy. And they got a bye week after Cal Poly before Syracuse. But, yeah, definitely could have used
that between Clemson and Syracuse.
Yeah, okay, but I'm looking at the schedule here. It says September 20th versus Syracuse, so I'm thinking that's probably a Friday night game. And then 28th is versus Clemson, so I'm assuming that's a Friday Syracuse, Saturday Clemson. Anyways, then the following week, October 5th, home versus Virginia Tech.
I'm not sure on Tech.
I
think that's kind of a
Tech.
pick 'em, but yeah, I'd probably lean Tech as well.
So let's remember, we're at 1 game for Stanford right now as they travel back to the Midwest to face our Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And that's another loss.
Yeah, I like the Irish in that one.
Then they're home versus SMU, which we got into a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think SMU beats them.
Then home versus Wake Forest.
I think they could beat Wake.
Yeah. And then all the way back to that East Coast versus NC State.
That's a loss.
Yeah, preseason 24th, NC State. Home versus the Louisville Cardinals.
That's a loss.
On the road, down the road to Cal. Probably a pick 'em, but a loss for him. I believe Cal's is Cal in the ACC now?
I don't think. I have to check. I don't think they are.
Let me get a quick check on that now that I'm wondering. And then they finish up the year. They are on the road at San Jose State.
I'm going to give them the Cal, and I'm going to give them the San Jose State game just because I want them to be at 4 wins. I want to be at 4 wins. That's the over. But I don't feel confident in the over.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to get I'm thinking Cal is in the ACC for some reason now.
They could be. I didn't think they came over in the ACC, but.
Well, yeah, they played Miami, Florida, NC State, Stanford, Syracuse. Yeah, they're in the ACC.
Now. Okay, so Cal is an ACC opponent. So.
Yep. So I know it's just getting used to all these conferences.
I'm giving Stanford the Cal game, and that's a pick 'em. Yeah. Just to give them 4.
Just to
give them 4.
Just to really try to get that over for them. I'm going to lean against you, and I'm going to take them under that lovely 3.5 mark. I have no faith in the Stanford Cardinal. Sorry, Stanford.
And you know that betting against me is always a good bet.
Yeah.
Do opposite of what I do. You're gonna win more.
Probably
than you lose.
win a decent amount of money if you do that. So
that kind of gets us through the halfway part of the season. And I think we're seeing the Irish sitting at 6-0 at this point.
6-0.
Right, we feel good about this. So
yeah,
let's call this one an episode, and let's do part 2 so we can break it up. And we'll hit you with it. So thanks for tuning in. Look for episode 2 coming soon.
Episode 4, part 2
of this preview coming soon.
Hey, thank you guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Irish 365 podcast.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast.
We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just search for Irish 365 Pod.
And you can always reach us at our email, irish365pod@gmail.com.
Good night.
And God bless.